How everybody doing? This Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. And before I get started, I just want to apologize to our brothers and sisters for my ignorance. Because for years, I've been making discouraging comments about our brothers and sisters who put in 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes for OTO. I've gotten off the train and my partners ran upstairs and said, yo, I got to put in this OT. And I'm like, what, bro? We only came in, it's 3 minutes. And they say something like, I'm not giving transit nothing. I'm not leaving nothing on the table. And I used to even, I feel some kind of way about that. I used to ask some of my brothers and sisters, yo, what's the minimum, overtime that you put in for? Some said, I'm not putting nothing in before 15 minutes. Some said before 10 minutes. Some said, I ain't leaving nothing on the table. I'm getting everything I can get out of transit. And I thought it was greed. I thought it was petty in a way. But it's not greed. I've come to understand that it's need. And this agency that we work for. And if you don't have to work OT, don't. Absolutely don't. And it's my opinion that, that we should never, this company should pay us. We should make enough without having to do overtime. But they don't want that. Absolutely don't want us to make a fair and living wage. They don't want that. That's obvious. And, I think at some point we got to take a stand with the OT and show them. They forget. They really don't believe that they really forgot or don't know or they believe they can run this system or they forgot that they can't run this vast system they have without us. And they can't. But they believe that we don't have the will. But going back, if I understand, because of the way this system is, you have to, a lot of our brothers and sisters, and I encourage you to bank all the OTO and your AVAs, everything you can, because you don't know what's going to happen. And the way this system is, this agency, where they fight us when we go out on comp. They fight us when we get hurt on the job. So they fight us on comp. I've said this ad nauseum, that we got to come back to the job because they're not paying us our comp. We can't afford it. So we come back injured or traumatized sometimes because it's coming. And sometimes we get hurt on the job and we medically terminated. Because we're fighting our employers to give us the medical attention, the resources, so they can pay for whatever procedures we need. And then there you go. We are medically terminated. Sometimes it takes months and years to come back. And then we got these kooks. And let me tell you, at the MAC, the Medical Assessment Center, for those that don't know. And then also the other kooks is the IME, the Independent Medical Examiners, who we got to see when we're on comp. And there's nothing independent about the medical examiners when we on comp. Excuse me. They work for transit. So we got to fight all these entities to get paid. And then when the MAC, the Medical Assessment Center, these quacks, and let me tell you about the MAC. It's the worst kept secret in New York. These medical professionals, it's a hustle. Everybody goes to the city or state to get a second pension. That's why they there. There's some decent people. I ain't gonna paint anybody with a broad brush. But them doctors are there for a second pension. They didn't get a medical degree to work at these funky Macs. And they're antiquated. They telling somebody, I went there for my heart. They put me on the EKG, which is, I go to my personal physician, the family practitioner I go to my cardiologist. They do an EKG in 30 seconds. This nurse told me that this EKG machine they have at the Mac now is older than her. And they got somebody, a cardiologist, allegedly, that's going to make an assessment. They put our brothers and sisters out, be it your cardiologist, your neurologist, your urologist, your ophthalmologist. They put you out, and here the Mac and their quacks who are hustling, who are just hustlers, telling you that they need more documentation from your doctor because transit don't want to be liable. They out their mind. If my doctor, your doctor, clear you to come back to work, that should be enough. Who's liable? They are, not transit. But this is the company we work for. And this is why I'm going to lead you to Richard Davis. We need to bank all the sick days we can. Bank all the time we can because we don't know when we might need it. You don't know what will happen, especially the sick days. Bank everything. You don't know when you might need that time, when that time is going to come in handy. But the thing is that our union, now let's get back to the sick days. Why would Richie Davis, I'm sorry, I'm going to back up. So I apologize for my perspective on our brothers and sisters who bank their OTO. There's no matter, if you bank a minute, bank that minute. If you bank 3 minutes, you bank that 3 minutes. If you bank 20 minutes, you bank that 20 minutes. I apologize for my ignorance. I was looking through the wrong lens. And that's your money. Yes, that's your money. And listen, bank it. Do what you got to do. But why would get back to Richie Davis? I hope I made some sense there. Why would Richie Davis, same thing. That's why I mix them up. Richard Davis. They're the same people, practically. They ain't the same gang. They are definitely in the same gang. But why would, and our president's a sellout. Gomez is a sellout, too, as well. They're both sellouts. They're both intertwined. When Bedford Park happened, they was going to be intertwined forever. And I'm starting to think now, it might have been a setup. You know why? Because they failed at it. It was a debacle. Just because everything Richie Davies has touched since he's been here has been a debacle in regard to the membership. And this thing he just did with the OTO now, MOW, TA Surface, people Matt Stower, all the divisions. Because it affects you now. When he was VP doing what he does in VP as Matt Stower, that was one thing. But now what he's doing is affecting every department. So why would he put in that paperwork that cashing in your OT? Cashing in your sick days. And let me tell you why. You cash in your sick days, you have no sick days. Something happened, you got to stay out 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, all of a sudden you don't have no sick days. Maybe you had 100, you cash in 80 of them, left with 20, whatever. Then you got used up 20, you fall off your train, you fall down the steps on your way to work, because they're not going to pay you comp for that. You're going to use your sick days. So you exhaust your sick days, and those who saying 60%, that ain't going to carry you. The state disability, that ain't going to do it. If you got your other disability, Transmedica, that's another, thank God for that in some circumstances. But they talking 3 months and we get spin on. I don't know why. I don't mess with them. For me, if I'm paying you for the length of my disability, not for 3 months for my PTSD. The union should be right now searching for someone other than Transamerica for that 3 months. That's all they're going to pay us for. So anyway, I'm digressing a little bit. So you cash in your sick days. Something happened. You get sick. Right? You go out. You ain't get paid. What happens when you don't get paid? You go back to work. What happens when you go back to work? Because you don't have no sick days and you got to feed yourself and your family and pay your bill. What happens? Employee availability. You got to go back to work. So we have a president who put a provision in there that will ultimately send us back to work. Who does it benefit? Transit and the union, I guess, gain sharing, right? Our president should be trying to get us some more sick days. Not jeopardizing the sick days we have. Not forcing our brothers and sisters back to work because they don't have sick days. Or more ludicrous, I said before, because you're out on vacation and you're using your OTO that you earned, and you take 4 days instead of 3, and now they don't want to give you OT to help their system run. Excuse my language, this is diabolical. This is the people that we work with. This is the president that we have. If you watch Tremel's video last night, and Tremel ain't make this up. Tremel wasn't at that barbecue to make the video. Somebody was there. Somebody had the good sense to say, I don't like what's going on here. This is crazy. This is unethical. This is a conflict of interest. Shouting out labor relations. That's like somebody shouting out I like to shout out the IRS. Everybody's been audited except them. They shouting out the IRS. Picture me. Picture Tremel. Shouting out labor relations. Shout out to labor relations. How would that? And yes, labor relations, the head of labor relations, and Anita Miller. Yes, an investigation is in order. You investigate us for nothing. Go to the tables and say, SAR, get on it. SAR, Special Investigation, get on it. See what's going on here. You're all over us. Get on management and see what's going on. Nobody who's in the union, affiliated to the union, should be cavorting with labor relations. And they feeling so sassy and frisky. Frisky, not sassy. Frisky that they, yes, y'all, to the beat, or let me shout out labor relations. This is the union we have, and guess who was there? Richie Davis was there. This dude is Forrest Gump. He's always everywhere. Here's Richie Davis here. The man who made them comments about Tremel. Amateurish comments about Tremel. The man who just sold us out. The man who's going around RTO, I won't speak on other divisions, I wasn't, who telling our brothers and sisters if they don't like it, they should find another job. See, Richie Davis moves around like that because they got this thing called the Red Book in my store. They control the overtime. They don't got to call nobody. They don't got to put in. The union controls overtime in my store. That's what Tremel was alluding to yesterday. So it's possible that this brother, who I don't know, this depot chair at Fresh Pond, who I don't know, I saw the video, possibly weaponizing labor relations against other members there. And they got to feel that way because they took that video and sent it to Tremel. They feel in some type of way. This incestuous relationship that goes on between management and our union. And Richie Davis is always conveniently somewhere. He's somewhere. Because Richie Davis believes that, and when I was doing the campaign and I went to some of these depots, Mastoa, they scared. I tried to get signatures from them. They was bro, I can't do it. They watching me. These grown-ass men. I'm like, brother, you can't sign that. No, I can't. Meet me in the hallway. Come back tomorrow when nobody's around. Yes. You got brothers and sisters. I'm not saying all of them because I saw some dudes in my store like, so give it here, man. F them. Care about them. They don't scare me. You got brothers like that at my store. But Richie Davis has created a reign of terror there in Mastoa. They're scared. You can't do that in RTO. We just don't move like that. We don't even have the officers with no... Y'all see the officers. They ain't doing nothing. 1 or 2 of them. But, you know, RTO ain't scaring nobody. The reps. But Richie Davidson created a reign of terror. Imagine you got 30 years. And you're not going along to get along. And all of a sudden you picked. And somebody that been there for 6 months got your route. Got your job. That's how they move at Mastoa. That's what the environment that Richard Davis has erected, has nurtured there, forced there when he was VP. And I know people that are in Mastoa. I literally seen how shook and scared and fearful. That don't make them punks. That means they're concerned about their families. They're scared of retribution. And that's what Richie Davis made a mistake. He think he could do that. I don't think he could do it in stations. There's 1 or 2 dudes in stations that try to intimidate folks. I see how they move. I don't think they scared of stations, though. And nobody's scared in RTO. There might be a few people scared of Canella, the party promoter. You shouldn't be. You should be asking to plan your party. You shouldn't be scared. You can't do that in RTO and stations. And this is what I'm saying, the folks in Mastoa, you got to vote this dude out. A lot of people who leave Mastoa go to TA Surface. They think it's more fair. It's fair there. The union don't have their foot on their necks. That's what's going on. And this is what I'm saying to folks of good. You know, folks that want some change, this next election, you got to get Richie Davis out of there. Structure and track. You got to get Richie Davis out of there. This is not Utano. This is not Samuelson. This is not Tucson. They come from MOW. He's not from your ilk. He's betting on his folks in Mastoa to get the vote out for Mastoa. And that if we don't vote, he will be president. But MOW, you have no allegiance to Richie Davis and the International, respectfully. And whoever on the 9th floor, y'all made a mistake with Richie Davis. Y'all made a mistake with him. If them and Richie Davis, you're a rascal, Richie Davis. You stink of you. He got crazy allegations, allegedly. These allegations are all type of behavior with him. I don't even want to say some of the allegations on him because they're so egregious. But this is the reputation I hear. There was no moral judgment on Samuelson and Utano. Nothing like that with Richie Davis, like what Richie Davis has. Nothing. Yeah, they spoke about later on how Toussaint was moving, how arrogant he became. But there was nothing like what's going on with Richie Davis. And all of them eventually was elected, not selected. So Richie Davis has brung his intimidation, and he thinks he could bring his methods here. And the thing about it, he couldn't do nothing, sign something under in the darkness of the night. We see his signature is on that document that is, you want to look at it this way, messing with our money. You want to go that angle on it? He's working with transit to get folks back to work. Get your ass on that bus, on that train, in that tower, on that track, on that platform, outside that booth, in that barn. He's working on the behest of management. That's what that document is saying. And then we see him at that barbecue. We see him at that barbecue. He's there. Will Latanya, Chris, they there. With somebody who works a labor relations official. These people at labor relations is making our lives a living hell. And they doing the Macarena in your backyard. Come on, where have we come? Richie Davis is unfit. Richie Davis is blankly sold us out. Richie Davis has no respect for us. This union has no fight. Every day we're hearing about unions pushing back. Trans is not intimidated by our union. Nobody's scared of our union. Triple SA, they president. The supervisors, president. Is telling transit, you out your mind. And then the union gonna say, we going to arbitration. You know how the best way to get out of the situation is not to get in it to begin with. Who told him to sign that? We didn't know what was going on. They didn't come to us. We was kept in the dark this whole negotiation, if you want to call it that. There was no negotiation. It was transit saying, listen, we got this document. Hurry up and sign it. And they signed it. There was no fight. UPS, the Teamsters is doing that thing. Amazon erected their union out of nothing. And they pushing back. What's this union doing? This union don't fight. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. I'm not being provocative. Y'all know I'm not saying something. I know y'all sitting there saying, tell me something I don't know. This union, TWU Local 100, is not leading this 40,000 plus membership into the future. We're in black and white. Everybody else is in 4K. Everybody's running the sprint, and we're running in place. These are not. Where's the electronic voting? Where's the term limits? Where's the integrity? They do other union. Where's our attorneys for when we going through a divorce or criminal cases? We're in the dark ages. We don't have housing. Our sisters need child care. Our families need child care. We getting assaulted every day and disrespected. And Sunday, let's talk about this president and what happened at the W. We're going to talk about that on Sunday. Because this president is a joke. He tried to manipulate us. He think we stupid. You should hear the comments. Jan Oliva says, Tremel, you got to put that tape up what he said about he got a railroad to run. When I called him about the assaults, I don't have the technology. I'm going to get it. I'm trying to get it. I got to get up. I want to do like you. You click a button and you showing something in the background. Let's go to the videos. I want to do that. I'm not equipped yet. But you need to put that up, Tremel. But what's going on with us? You know what they're doing? How many people they sending back to road restricted? How they violating pick rights for people who pick platform? You know what this company is doing? We're under assault. And I told you, I said it. I couldn't in the future this can happen. I don't have to be no Nostradamus. I don't gotta be no ESP. No fortune teller to tell you we got more pain coming because our union is compromised. Allegedly, we had a president with pending charges. We know what Canella did. Why should they respect us with leadership like this? Why? We don't respect them. They should respect them. And we've been sold out. Y'all know it. Y'all know it on the 9th floor. You vets know it. Everybody knows ubiquitous around transit and the system that this union is a joke. It's a joke. I'm telling you, I've been witness to that. You know, they see me drumming, joking and all that. This ain't my first rodeo. I'm sitting there joking and key-heeing, but I'm listening to what you say. And why would I listen to what you're saying? Like James Baldwin said, why would I listen to what you're saying when I'm watching what you're doing? I think that's an accurate paraphrase. So again, we have our president, whenever, if he was right, I don't know when this videotape was, but something wrong with any union official who's fraternizing, hanging out with labor relations, shouting them out. He shouted out the institution of labor relations. Shout out to labor relations. Watch Tramel's live. There's something perverse about that. There's something perverse about everything that's going on with this union. So I'm saying, and I'm reading, that this union despises us fighting back. They're repulsed by independent thinking. They're comfortable where they at. They're comfortable. And again, let me go back to Tramel. Don't try to frame it. Yes, I'm going to tell you, yes. After what happened to Tramel, yes. Tramel wants to expose Richie Davis, wouldn't you? If you thought that somebody... I used to come at Tramel and say, I don't like Richie Davis. There was things I heard. There was things I heard about this brother that had nothing to do with, allegedly, about what's going on. The charges, his pending, what he's being accused of. Are the rumors circulating? And Tramel used to say to me, bro, you don't know Richie Davis. He's a good guy. When I'm sick, he checks on me. He's always asked about my family. I think people got him all wrong. I didn't think I had him all wrong. Tramel thought that. So, of course, Tramel was betrayed by not only Canella and Eric and Richie Davis and those who say this. Well, Tramel, he gets behind these people. And then he chose it. Yes. If they, like any politician, anybody, you never been betrayed? You never been conned? You never had somebody pretend to be something in that. And let me tell you what happened to him in that. You know why him and Eric fell out? Eric told him Tramel couldn't come to the 9th floor. They told Eric, that Tramel was forbidden for coming up on the 9th floor. Tramel's a dues-paying member, supported Eric, put him in office. When everybody turned on Eric, Tramel was the only one that had. Nobody wanted him to be VP. And y'all called Tramel a racist. He chose this white man over a lot of the brothers because he thought he was the best man for the job, and he believed in him. And Eric calls him and say, yo, by the way, if you want to meet, but we can meet somewhere, but you can't come on the 9th floor. Canella did the same thing. You can now with Canella. I left Progressive Change. Progressive Action during the election and Progressive Change. So, you know, he was kind of forced into letting Gomez. He did it nevertheless. All of y'all helped put him in there. Progressive Action. But they was kind of forced, kicking and screaming. They said I abandoned them. That's what they say. That ain't the case. But that's another show for another story. For another conversation for another show, different time. But he had to get behind Gomez. He had to. He didn't know about Gomez was a scam artist for what he did with Delta. He didn't know that. He didn't know that. I knew a little bit, but Gomez had me fooled too. It happens. So Tramel had to get behind Gomez. I'm sure Tramel didn't think, nobody at Progressive Action thought that Canella Gomez was the best man for the job. But with Drummond gone, right, I was gone. They said I went rogue on them. I'm still upset about that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But they had no choice. But they knew that Nook couldn't run. Jason didn't want to run. So they had to kind of get behind Gomez. But Gomez called Tramel and also told him that he couldn't come on the 9th floor. After Tramel, he could not, a dues-paying member, he could not. I'll be damned if I was VP. They would tell me that I couldn't bring somebody up to the 9th floor. Are you out your mind? And Eric and Gomez folded up like a cheap lawn chair. So when you say why Tramel does the things he do, they turned on him. Tramel is Tramel. There's nothing that changed about Tramel from when he came to transit to where he where he is today. Good or bad, that's who he is. He's consistent. Gomez and Eric Legal and later Richie Davis where people misrepresented themselves to Trammell. And Gomez and Eric Legal turned on Trammell. And I'll tell you about Eric Legal. I put together a meeting. For Trammell. And I tried to put together for Trammell and Utano. Trammell could have waited another month before he got at Utano. But I tried to put that meeting together. I won't put that on nobody. It just didn't work, that meeting. With Eric and Trammell, Eric didn't want to have the meeting. Trammell swallowed his pride for the best, in the best interest of RTO. Those was his word. Let's have a meeting. Eric refused. Because he had already sold out at that point. And the same thing will happen with our brother with the flagging situation. The same thing that Trammell was disgusted by the fact that Canella couldn't save an E-board member. Trammell was disgusted that you come to Jano Lieber house and you hide in the car. Where's your fight? You said you was going to fight and you did nothing, Canelo Gomez, but made it worse for us at RTO. That's a fact. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm trying to being provocative here. Trammell gave him some grace. Gave him some time to prove that he was a leader and he was going to stand by the things he ran on and delivered on none of it. And what Trammell get for his effort? A coordinated effort to assault him and silence him at Bedford Park. But that's him. Let's get back to Trammell. It didn't work. How'd you feel if your leg was shattered? How'd you feel if you was betrayed by people that you spoke up for, you stuck up for? So this is where we at. So those who say no, and I say this to Trammell. If you want it done right, you run for VP. If you want something done right, you do it. And that same consistency that you see with Trammell, you're going to have that. Because the transit, worst fear that you see me and Trammell together, RTL will not be like this. I can guarantee all my kids, oh my God, that RTL won't be like that. They won't have their foot on our necks. I guarantee you that. Y'all better get rid of me. Y'all better get rid of Trammell. Y'all better get rid of all these fighters you're trying to get rid of. Because it'll be a new day in RTL. That's all I got to say today. Everybody be safe and take care.